All good? Cool. Hi guys. Can everyone hear me? All good? Good, good. So first off, thank you for attending. I hear Jamie Lang's over there, so this is the second prize for sure. Hopefully, over the next half an hour, or 25 minutes, you find my presentation useful, more useful than the rather boring title page, which is "Make Data Your Greatest Asset: Driving Performance in Traditional Industries." Before I get into that, I'll talk about myself a little first of all. So this is a bit chaotic, a little bit like my life actually. With I've got two young boys who are the biggest part of my life, Noah and Ralph Kelly. 4-year-old, 2.5-year-old. My house is an absolute mess at the moment. Fortunately, my lovely wife Hannah keeps it in check for me. She's so lovely. She makes me, kind of enables me to watch as much sport as I possibly want. So I'm a massive Manchester United fan, less of a massive Manchester United fan from the start of the season. You might have noticed that I'm a southerner born and bred, so not a northern relative in there whatsoever, nothing north of Croydon, so that makes sense. Massive golf fan as well, so looking forward to this weekend. Massive rugby fan as well, so the World Cup's fantastic at the moment. Big NFL fan as well, Kansas City Chiefs, they are my team. You might have noticed as well, I don't sound like Ted Lasso. That would be really, really good if I did. Also, a bit more about me. I live in Sussex, massive fan of indie disco music. Favourite band is The Hives. Tyrannosaurus Hives is my favourite album of all time. 34 minutes of just pure white knuckle ride music. It's fantastic. Few other shout outs as well. My favourite brand of all time is Halfords. These hands have never got dirty. I have never fitted anything to my car, fixed a bike, nothing. But Halfords customer service is so good, and I'll be lost without them. Also as well, I blame this on my boys, but I absolutely love brio. I need to go cold turkey. I have too much brio in my life. That's a New Year's resolution for me, because there's something I've got my eye on for Christmas. Professionally, let's get on to that. I'm head of marketing at John D. Wood. John D. Wood are an estate agent, kind of premium estate agent, properties of kind of 1.5 million and above. I've been with John D. Wood for about a year now. Previously, kind of working in various marketing roles, predominantly performance marketing roles. Started my career at media agency side, working at Cara and LBI, working on brands such as Disney, Marks and Spencer's, Santander as well, which was really, really good fun, before going brand side and working on brands such as Pizza Express. So again, sorry if you received an email with 10, 20, 30, 32, 34, 36% off. That was probably someone in my team who did that. Fortunately, they've moved away from that now, which is really good stuff. I've also worked at Crew Clothing, and then most recently working at Foxtons as head of marketing. Boo and hiss accordingly. Most of them are good guys. But yes, as mentioned, kind of been working at John D. Wood for the last year or so. Over this time, I've worked with some amazing marketers, learned from them of how to tell stories, and that's ultimately what I try and do, and what every marketer needs to try and do is try to tell stories, whether that be through brand story or whether through data to tell that story. And I've learned from some of the best out there of how to drive effective change within marketing campaigns and businesses to drive business forward. Should mention craft ale in there as well. Have way too much of that. So as mentioned, I've been at John D. Wood for just coming up to a year now, and it's fair to say that they are a traditional estate agency. I wouldn't be giving the presentation if it wasn't, right? And when I first joined, it was clear that there was a very clear brand narrative that John D. Wood were. It was the what we call Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea is their kind of heartland, as well as kind of branching out into West London and also into Surrey as well. But RBKC is what we call it, the main kind of heartbeat of John D. Wood, and they know exactly who they want to go after and who they need to target. However, they were under par when it came to, or over par, sorry, when it came to using data to drive their marketing performance. So I came in and set up a new approach targeting these 3 areas to try and drive change within the business. And these were: get stakeholders involved early on, present data, but present it in a way that's clever, and doesn't need to be clever, it just needs to be clear. That was an unfortunate slip of the tongue for that one, actually. Doesn't need to be clever, it just needs to be clear. And 3, embed it in the everyday as well. So I'm going to take you through how we have done that. So, estate agents, look, we've probably all encountered some estate agents, right? Bad suits, gift of the gab, coffee for closers. We've seen it, and we've probably witnessed it as well, which is look, I think you're going to get that across the board with estate agencies. These people are traditionally quite tough to win over. We have, with a traditional agency like John D. Wood is, we have quite a lot of old school estate agents, know their brand, know who they're trying to target, but are kind of stuck in their ways, right? Because we've always done it this way. And so my job is to try and convince them that actually, why don't we do this in a slightly different way? The experience is absolutely valuable, and I'm not saying for one moment that these guys not having data to back up their decisions and their business strategy is not the right way forward. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying with data we can enhance that strategy and that hypothesis to drive business effectiveness. You might think that everybody in your business is like this person. Is like this person. We're fortunate at John D. Wood that our senior leadership team is, yes, it is a traditional agency, but our senior leadership team are quite youthful. Kind of most of us in the senior leadership team are in our 30s, but we are very keen to adapt modern technologies to drive our media performance. Unfortunately, we've had so much success in some of the activities that we've launched over the last 12 months that we're going to continue doing that throughout the rest of this year and next as well. So one of the I can talk about quite a few of the media channels that we have adopted, but really the biggest change that we've done is through direct mail, and it always makes me laugh because I'm a digital marketer by trade, and you walk around a number of stands and you talk about AI, SEO, and influencer marketing, and I'm here talking about direct mail, right? So bear with me. This is some of the direct mail that you've probably seen on your doorstep from estate agencies. Most of this will be from agents delivering the letters themselves, kind of deciding, I'm going to walk down that road today and just deliver marketing material to that address because it's on the way to Greg's. Why not? 2 birds with 1 stone, and that's okay, to be honest. Like that's a fairly blunt way of running direct mail. So what we have done is changed the way that we have done direct mail, and we have centralized a lot of the marketing activity. Now that came with quite a lot of pushback, as you can imagine, but we rolled it out across a number of branches and in a controlled manner, and it worked extremely well for us. And what we've done is we've adopted. We've started working with a company called Spectre. A key objective for us at the start of our year was to try and drive as many market appraisals. So we need to try and give our agents as many opportunities as possible to win the instruction. And how we were going to do that is by revamping, overhauling our direct mail activity. And we've worked with a company called Spectre to enable us to do that. I'm going to say something that probably feels quite obvious, but I think it's important. There's two types of direct mail activity when it comes to property. There's off-market and there's on-market. Off-market is any property that isn't on the market at the moment. On-market is any property that's on the market. That is largely where marketing for a estate agency stops. But using data, we're able to take that a step further. So working with Spectre, with our off-market activity, we are able to identify properties that are likely to come onto the market within the next 12 months, which is extremely powerful for us because gone off the days of walking down Lacacia Avenue and giving letters to every address on the road. Now we're able to identify properties that are likely to come onto the market. And Spectre have over 200 data sources to identify these properties, whether that be registered a new child, or change of tax bracket, or number of properties sold in the area recently, or you just had a PCP on your car. They have over 200 data sources to identify those properties. We're going to take that a step further and overlay the propensity model with a view of a likelihood of whether you're going to be a John D. Wood customer as well. And again, that's working extremely well for us because we're able to be more focused, more laser focused with our marketing activity, whilst also saving a bucket load of cash at the same time, which is also very pleasing. The real beauty of using data really comes from the on-market perspective though. And these are some of the triggers that we have launched over the last 12 months. So buying, selling a house can be a fairly lengthy process. And during those times, there's certain key trigger points or customer journey points that we wanted to target. So what we have here is the gold circles are sales letters, and blue are lettings. So each milestone that a property delivers against, we automatically send out a letter. Which again is really, really valuable because it's the most timely piece of marketing we can have, and it's extremely relevant for that customer. So present it right. It doesn't need to be clever, it just needs to be clear. Look, data is great. There's a reason why traditional companies struggle with it, and it's not because they don't have data, it's because they struggle to understand it and struggle to tell that story. So my piece of advice here is try and make it as clear and as simple as possible, and that's largely from asking your peers kind of what's important to them, and then trying to answer that question for them. We have, as part of kind of my role, this is all dummy data, by the way, hasten to add, but we have, as part of my role within the senior leadership team, is to deliver marketing effectiveness, but also to try and find opportunities to grow the business and to understand business challenges. And so kind of for those who have seen Moneyball, there's a saying in Moneyball, which is, do they make it to first base? Right, and it's very similar to a estate agency. Yes, you're not going to score any points from making it to first base, but if you don't make it to first base, you're never going to get round. And we adopt a similar strategy at John D. Wood, whereas we need to support those branches that are more effective at listing. So the question we ask all the time is, can they list? Can they instruct a property? And if they can't instruct a property, then we won't be supporting that branch. It's as simple as that. So we've adopted a simple conversion rate here, which everybody across the business uses on a weekly basis. We see how many market appraisals or valuations that someone's had, and how many instructions they've had, and it's a simple conversion rate. This is extremely effective for me because I can start answering that question of, if I had an extra pound in my marketing budget, where would I spend it? Now, this is dummy data, but we can see that Weybridge, which is kind of fairly low down the list, has got a 26% conversion rate, as opposed to Belgravia near the top, it's got 46% chance. So I know that my marketing pound is going to be best off spent in Belgravia rather than Weybridge. This is super important for us, not only because it helps us understand branch performance and marketing spend, but also helps manage the agents as well, and they need a bit of management sometimes as well. But again, this is super useful, but it's super useful because it's just so clear and easy for everyone to understand. Slightly more complicated, this one, but still quite effective. My piece of advice is try and lean on as many suppliers as possible. All this data we've got here is from Rightmove. We simply wanted to see whether our patch has grown, e.g. are there more new instructions coming onto the market, and are we getting our fair share of new instructions? Because a lot of the budgeting and the reporting that I've seen largely says beat next year by 20%. Now, fine, that's one way of doing it, sure, but the housing market's taken a bit of a battering this year, right? Mortgage rates are the highest they've been in a long time, and the number of applicants have decreased. So kind of lapping 20% is going to be quite tough. So we've started adopting a new approach to understand a bit of context to the market. And what this does is clearly helps us understand how many properties have come onto the market in that area and how many properties we've had in that area as well, to give us a clear market share. And again, this is used across the board on a weekly basis, monthly basis, and it's extremely valuable for us. Lastly, embed into the everyday. This is the only slide I've got on this because I think it kind of explains itself. But look, when you work for traditional agencies, I've found from working in a estate agency is that they value the face-to-face. Kind of emails work well, sure, but actually having a conversation with someone face-to-face works 10 times better. So I just start inviting myself to various meetings, kind of branch weekly meetings. I'm there. That might be a store for some of you guys. Get yourself down there. Get your face out there, and we start having conversations about this data. Because believe you me, you start presenting some data, and the business will be really receptive of kind of what you've got to show them, and they'll start asking a few more questions and start having a few ideas of how they can improve it as well. So my big advice would be to start attending more meetings. I share weekly stats kind of every Friday of kind of branches that are performing well, sometimes performing badly as well, and also kind of I've kind of ensured that we have a kind of a robust kind of weekly kind of joining program, which everyone goes on in the business at the start of their journey at John D. Wood, and that's fantastic because that goes from MD level all the way through to kind of admins in branches, which is fantastic, and you get to meet everybody in the branches. And now, kind of due to me keep on pushing the message of using data to drive performance, I now have a slot in that as well. So kind of you might come up with some resistance, but my advice would always be try to embed it in everything you do. Keep on communicating, and then hopefully it will start to land. That's pretty much me. I'm going to be around for the next hour or so before I'm on pickup duty. But yeah, hopefully that was useful. Hopefully that was useful. Yeah, I'm going to be around for kind of an hour or so. So if anyone's got any questions, let me know. But thank you, and have a nice rest of your day.